Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so we are carrying on with the E28 M5 today, and what I'd like to do is sorry, I'm busy trying to pull this off as well. What I'd like to do is I would like to start this video and hopefully end. Let's try something different, right? Let's try and end with the car done instead of me doing inserts in between. So not too long ago, what we done was we done a update quickly on the seats, right? And I explained to you how we've got to go in depth. And I'm gonna try and put a snippet there quickly. I'm gonna try and picture quickly of the seats, and we want to try and get into the motors. Not only detail them, but have them plated, have them serviced out, and just get them basically functioning again, right? So it'll obviously get repaired. The wiring will get repaired so that they're fully functioning, and also once they put together, it looks the part, right? So when I showed you that video there, the seats were still basically, your motors were still intact, and I had to explain to you and tell you how we had to strap them up and get them done and so on like that. So we've gone through the whole process of it already. All right, here's your nuts and bolts. That's all plated as per normal. Your sleevings for your, I don't know what the terminology is, right? But that's all done on there. Your gears are all basically done. We're not pulling the gears off them. We're not equipped to pull these rivets basically off and replate them. So we've had them polished up. So basically all the gears polished up, all the mechanisms polished up. We've had the mechanisms cleaned out, degreased properly, the threads all degreased properly, so they're ready basically for its new home. The aluminium butts to them, this is the finishes that we got to it. It's actually very hard. This is different. This is not only fully aluminium, this is a mix between pewter and aluminium. This is full aluminium, yeah. And these are the finishes that we got to that. So it'll be nice to see when everything is put together, right? Because you're gonna have these guys locking in here into the mechanisms. It'll be nice to see what the finishes are gonna look like. And once it's on its seat, so a lot of people think, yeah, but it's under the seat, you can't see it, you're not gonna see it. You'll actually be surprised once it's done how it actually catches your eye. So this is about call it 3 to 4 days basic worth of work now from assembling. Lucian, you also know, you can tell us, not tell us, but you can guide us, and you'll be able to say, I think it took us, cleaning could have taken us also about 4 days, 5 days. So a week worth of cleaning. A week worth of cleaning, plating, and trying to get the look that we wanted basically, and getting the gears cleaned out and getting into the grooves. But so 2 weeks, call it 2 weeks worth of work, and that's excluding stripping. So call it another 2-3 days worth of stripping. So just under 3 weeks worth of work just on the seats. So we're gonna get the seats basically back into place. We actually got the seats looking good. We didn't send that set in for covering because it was actually recovered. So we wanted to salvage the leather that was on there, and still strip it up and still get it done the way we wanted to. So let's get it together. Let's see how it looks afterwards. And then what we are going to do is we are going to go through the rest of the build in this video, and let's see how the final product looks. Okay. So guys, I've taken you guys from the seats. I was supposed to do another video of the seats done, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to picture it. I think I've done a couple of shots of it basically on the bench still, but I'm going to show it to you now in the car. And we're starting to, we've started to assemble the vehicle, and we're getting very fast. So I know what I was trying to do is I tried to actually keep this video and save it for the end, but we're still about a week or 2 weeks away from finalizing the vehicle and still gonna go through testing. So we'll have another final video once we're in the car test driving it and so on like that. But I think we're all eager basically just to get this video out. And look, I know I'm short of content. I've got a lot of content to do in the panel shop, but I just hadn't had a chance to get to that. So We're going to go through the vehicle quickly. Where we are at is we've done a lot of work, a lot more work on the motor since this motor was last seen basically at Kailami, at Concourse, and so on like that, because we had it on the jig. We've done a lot more cleaning up on it. Motor we never really touched. This motor was built by Peter Cavalas. So legend, he's a legend in the game basically. Knows the M88s. He knows them very well. And put it this way, yeah, that even if we get another M5 that comes in, not that we can't build a motor, but he knows the tricks and trade to it. And he's one of the guys, one of the legends in South Africa, amongst many, amongst Alec from Evolution, Paul Kesson. I think Paul Kesson, I don't know if he does the M88s or he does the M30s, Tune Tech, even Butti. Those are legends in the game. They know these M88s like you. You can't believe it. So and if I haven't mentioned them, I apologize, but from the top of my head quickly, he's one of the legends amongst those that I've mentioned. And he's built this motor. So we have tested this motor in the white M5 before, right? And the reason we done that, it was the same, the cars belong to the same owner. This car was basically a shell. So we've never received this vehicle as a complete car. We never received all the parts for the vehicle. We received this car as a shell, a bare shell, on its suspension, and basically all the parts wrapped up. So we didn't know Arthur from Martha when it came to parts here. That's number one. Number two, also it being our first M5 that we're restoring. So what we decided to do was put it in the white car, start the car up there because that car was fairly complete, but that car had to be taken down again and restored. So put the motor in there, gearbox in there. This motor is actually very refined, very quiet. I take my hat off to him. That man built this motor properly. And the reason I'm saying that is I've sat in a couple of other M5s. Motors are nice, but rowdy here and there. This here is just refined, it's quiet. So we're still going to do a test and start up. I'm not too stressed about that now because it has been tested. So what we're deciding on doing is basically finishing up on the vehicle. And let's get to basically where we are at this point in time. So we've still got final lining up to do on the car, right? You can see that I've got one polished fender here, I've got a door here that's basically still flattened down. So we've started polishing into different areas, we started cutting down into different areas, but we haven't done our final polishing as yet. And yes, I should have done polishing, high gloss polishing with the beadings off in there, but we've done to a certain point and I'm happy with it. I'm happy. I know that we'll be able to get into the areas, and it's also not holding the rest of the build up basically, right? Because we've basically been full force onto this vehicle. And one of the reasons why I went full force onto the vehicle is because, like I said, we've got these vehicles in parts, and parts for these cars are impossible to get. So you go to BMW, go and phone for the basics of things you can't get. There's a listing of stuff, but everything you see, every listing you see there, you'll just see NLA, no longer available. So I started stressing upon that, and we said, let's just get the cars together. I know what's available for the white car. I know what parts I need to get for the white car because we put that car together complete. Got the car together, we've got the kit on. I've got the kit lined up nicely. The bumper, we're actually very happy about how we got the bumper line on. We had a bit of a issue on the chassis leg on that side there. Finally got it sorted out. We got the bumper to line up properly with no MacGyvers, no tech screws or anything basically to MacGyver a bumper to fit on. It's basically fit on basically with its original parts. We've still got to cut and polish. I've still got to line the bonnet up. You can see the bonnet we've literally just put it on now. And we were waiting for the bonnet to come on so we can start aligning everything else. But we'll do the final alignment afterwards. Get to the windscreen, for example. We've battled to get the windscreens in. Windscreens are a problem. I've got a chip on here. I'm going to try and do a repair. If I don't, I'm going to see if I can find other windscreens. But we're battling to find new, there's nothing. Battling to find windscreens. The minute you find a second windscreen on the car, I have cracked a few. So every time you ask somebody to take the windscreen out, the windscreen is good by the time you see it in the car. By the time you take it out, it's cracked. So I've cracked. I understand what they're talking about where they're cracking it, because I've cracked, even from the E12, I've cracked two, three, four, I can't remember. But I've cracked a few. Rear windscreens are a problem. Windows, we got matching windows basically, so matching motor to matching windows. I'm not matching one window on that side there. And it looks like, but I knew about this from the first owner. So it looks like this car, I don't know if it had been broken into or whatever it is, but the window was basically not there from day one. So I'm gonna see what we're gonna do to get the windows matching on the car. Then we come down to interior. I'm gonna open up and I'm gonna show you now. Remember, everything was wrapped up, right? So I also saw a couple of things, and this was partially my fault because I didn't know much about M5s and I assumed we had everything. When we opened up all the wrapping on the floor to start assembling the car, I found 3 different colors on the interior. So I've had to make a harsh decision to send stuff in. Not the seats are still fine, but the door trims. And I'm going to take you through that now quickly as well. Okay, so if you know M5, right? Okay, so we still got to get the glass mirrors on. I've got to get the backings on properly. These grommets in here properly. I've got to get the door rubbers on the inside, but I'm not really... I think we are going to put it on now for testing. But this is not the interior for an M5, right? So what we've done is we've mocked up basically. This is the interior I got for one of the 525s. We've mocked up the interior, so we're making sure that we basically got our clips, right? We're making sure we're getting our rattles, and you'll see this guy's still a bit loose here because we've got to get this inside window rubber in, but basically quiet, right? The side skirts we got in, I've got to get the B pillars basically in as well, and they've got to be covered. So, okay, let me start off here quickly. Sorry, I'm here on the floor. So with M5 interior, right? Firstly, we don't have material on the door cuts. We've got the original leather with a stitch coming down all the way here. So I found a nice set of door cuts, and I'm gonna get to the colors of them. The colors, I've learned a crap load on this guy, and it's crazy. So we've still got to get the, before I get on there, we've got to get the door rubbers on. We've got the locks in place here. We've got the 5 Series actually closing up properly, meaning we've lined the doors up properly. And if anybody knows the 5 Series, you know you got to slam the door in order for the door to close, right? And it's a sickness with them. I'll show you now on the other side. We've got the doors to close nicely. So let's get back to the interior quickly. So with the M5, you've got leather on the center. You've got your armrest here, right? And I think I've actually got one armrest to show you here. So your armrests are all stitched. So you've got stitching basically everywhere besides, and not like the conventional E30s. Let me put my mic here. Like your conventional E30s that have your leather wrapped here. I don't know if it was wrapped or shrunk or what it was before. But on the M5s, you got them, it basically looks like it's recovered and it's got a stitch in it. This stitch is not entirely right? The color of the stitch is wrong. Then your panel over here, so you call it your lower door card, your lower door card frame. This here is in leather as well, and you don't have any material over here. So you got a full leather insert over here, but this here is pressed on, right? So it's basically vacuum pressed onto it. And then you've got your leather over here that matches your dashboard, and you've got a stitch running all the way across here that has to match, basically be in line with the stitch here. So there's a couple of differences to the M5s, unique differences to the M5s as to the 525s and the 535s as well. So M5 was the only one to come with it. If you read up on the M5s, you'll actually see that they picked up an issue. If you read up on the M5s, you'll actually find that they upgraded the seats at that point in time because of the dashboards cracking and the bolts, the steering, and there was a couple of other things as well, but that's what I can remember. Then, so carpet on this car. Okay, firstly, the interior on this car, right, is supposed to be, and this is where it gets confusing. Some people call it Lotus white interior, and some people call it Titan gray. I've still got to learn deeper into it, right? And I didn't know it was so intricate until now. So let's work with Lotus white for now. So I'll picture a Lotus white interior for you, right? And we've got the seats. Basically the seats were done before, and we've still got them wrapped up, but we've done the frames in it. The seats were done before, and I really didn't want to play with the creases on it. I'll open the back seats for the back doors for you now, and you'll see the back seats. I didn't really want to play with the recovering of it. One of two reasons is you battle to find the same grain leather. I'm struggling to find the same color in Napa. So it is a huge problem, and it's an issue basically across the world. It's not in South Africa that there's nothing to find or something like that. It's a mission to find them. So by the way, if anybody's watching the video and you guys know where I can find leather, drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys, or let me know if you guys know of anything. Coming back into the interior here. So your higher center console here, this is now your climate control panel, right? We've just put basically the 5 to 5s in so we can mock up. Remember, we had no nuts and bolts for this car, right? We had no nuts and bolts. I bought 2 cars basically for nuts and bolts. And I think what we suggested is basically let us get everything placed in the car, everything put in the car. So even when I test drive, I can start listening out for rattles and I don't get fooled by rattles as well while we're waiting for the interior. So this guy also gets leather wrapped, and then we've got a stitch running across, and in the center of it, we've got a joining stitch with it. The same thing with your gear lever console, right? We've got a stitch basically running on it, so it actually looks like a puffed out console. It doesn't look as sleek as the leather covered or leather pressed consoles. Then our carpet running on the side here has got to match our carpet here. So what I've done is I found another carpet and I've actually had to improvise, and I've got to basically recover these guys, and I've got to try and get the same border trim around it. Same thing with the handbrake console. We've got to have that stitch over, but that's all going to be color matching basically with these panels here. So we're waiting for that to come back. Roof liner, if you can come here, focus here onto the roof for me. So we still got to get our sunroof panel in, but let me grab the camera here from Mosh. Okay, so we've got the sunroof panel in here. I mean, we still got to get the sunroof panel in. I've got to get the sunroof in, and you can see the bolts and nuts done there already. So again, you know the story when we do a resto, every bolt and nut is done. But we've managed to get this roof liner look in the part. We haven't put that interior light in as yet because we've still got to, there's a wire, that's actually one wire that we found that's missing out of the harness coming up there. So we still got to pull that through before the B pillar goes up, but basically we managed to get it fit on properly. And this is thanks to Wesley. Okay, I'm gonna try and hand it over nicely to Rush. Okay, so this is thanks to Wesley. Wesley came in with his team, and he does what he does best. He does what he does best. That's what I was talking about, what it was. He does what he does best, and he came in, dumped the roof liner in. We matched the fabrics up. We got that sorted out. Then backboard, we managed to find basically a matching color. We've placed it in place now. I've got actually a second board to come with it, but I'm gonna try and get it cleaned up as far as possible. Then I want to show you guys quickly. So again, the back seats, let's just go back to the door cards quickly. The same story here. We've mocked up door cards from this car. As for the back seats, this is basically the stitching on it. We've still got to do, we've done one cleanup on it already. Remember, this has been covered about 4 years ago. We've done one cover on it, and I've still got to do a treatment on it. So we still got to do a detail on it, right? But she's looking the part and she still smells as fresh as can be. The seats, when we done the seats, I showed you guys all the parts of the seats basically on the floor, and sorry, it was on the bench at the time. And we've assembled it, and I'll put a picture of it, of the video that I took. It's a short video basically, quickly, when it was still on the stand. And they came out very well, and you can actually see the difference. So Lush, if you can just concentrate on the mechanisms there. So look at the mechanisms on that side, of this side of the seat here. That says how far we go into the restoration. And I always told you, I said, yes, it's there is sitting basically underneath stuff. You're not going to see it, right? But you can actually see that it actually makes a difference to it. Now you can actually see it. If it was dirty and stuff, you can't really see it. So quickly, before we finish up with the interior, you guys must be wondering, why is that seat sitting skew? M5 came with, so some of the 535s and then the M5s came with electric seats in them. We're battling to line that seat up. So we've been battling a bit for about 2 days, and we said, you know what, let's just take a break from it. We got the seats functional. So the headrests are all electrical, the backrests are electrical, the bolsters are electrical. We've got everything functional on the vehicle. And It's just that seat on lining that seat up. We're battling with it. So it's not the structure that's skew or anything. It's basically lining it up on the rail. So we will come back to that, and by the time we do our end video, we should have that taken care of and seen too. Okay, so let me just see. I haven't closed up the kick panel here. I haven't closed up the kick panel area here, right, as yet. We're still trying to get to, I just want to move this out of the way. We're still trying to get to, there's one bracket that we are short of on here. So, yeah, you can see here. You can actually see the seat motors. I want to see how it looks on camera. Yeah, you can actually see here now. So this is the rail here. This is the aluminium bits I kept on talking to you guys about. All these nuts and bolts are all plated nicely. So we got them stripped up. We got them serviced. We got the mechanisms done. We got the rivets out. We got the correct bolts in place here. Basically, we got the motors stripped up. I showed you guys how that looked. This here was all aluminium here. This is how nice they look. They actually look very good. Eh? Take my hand away. So then if you come here quickly, we're still busy with the harness here, right? I'm busy. There's one bracket that we're short of here, and I'm on my two donor cars, I don't have them. So it's one silly bracket that holds this unit here up, and I'm hunting basically for it. And I got two cars here, plus actually got three donor cars. The one I stripped up already, and that's, I can't get them on there. So I'm gonna have to go hunting for that. I'm gonna have to get the wootering working as well, the wooter pin working as well. The steering column, actually, I was gonna do a video on it, but I forgot. This here got stripped up, so if you come here, Lush, you can actually see when I say it got stripped up, you can actually see how we pulled it apart. So this here has been plated here. This is your shaft running all the way from here to your steering column. This has been plated here. All your nuts and bolts have been done. Your wootering here, I've got to drill this guy out here and still come and replace that. You look at the bottom, you can see the shaft, the columns casing. This here has been plated all the way through here. Right, we've got the brackets done, we've got the black powder coated, so we actually broke it up quite well. So obviously once we wipe out and we clean up and we tuck the wiring in, you'll actually see the differences on them. You'll see the aircon pipes coming in over there. The aircon pipes are all done already. The pedals, obviously, you know the story, we get that done. There's basically nothing missed out on this vehicle. Right, so we're gonna move over to the engine bay, and I actually got one of our customers over here. They came to visit us today. George. He is the owner of the Calypso. He's the owner of the Calypso cabriolet that we built a while back. You can come in, George. He's also very shy, but I said I'm going to drag him into this video. So he's one of our first, I think, George, you actually met us through YouTube, no? You actually met us through YouTube?
Yes, I went through YouTube. I was searching for a reputable company for my vehicle.
So now he's on YouTube now?
Yeah.
Right? So this year wasn't planned. He came to come visit us today, and I'm holding him back in. I said, you know what, you're going to be in the video today. So let's just go through this guy quickly, right? And George, while you're here also, right? You're a customer here, you a neutral person, if I can call it that.
Yeah.
You'll also give your view on what you see here today. Right? So you're always watching us on TV, not on TV, on YouTube, on TV or on the phone. And you're always seeing what I'm talking about, but now you're able to witness it and let people know firsthand.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to take you through here quickly before. Okay, what do you think first from what you see?
Newly built motor, nice. The color, very nice, original, henna red, and most of the things like brand new, refurbished. I think the owner will be happy to be driving a new car. It's almost like a new car.
So basically everything done.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever, there's a lot of parts that's new here, but there's also, like I said on the E28, you can't really go and buy much new.
Yeah.
These bolts here, don't worry about them. That's all going to get changed. They'll all get painted to the same color of the car. So let's just go onto the motor here quickly, right onto the engine bay, if I can call it that. So we've still got to get our heat shield on, and the E28s come with a different heat shield as to the E30s. The E30s come with the heat shield all the way, covering the, call it the triangles of it. The E28 comes with a full bonded heat shield, basically, right? You guys can have a look. So we've still got to get the fuse box cover in. There's a lot of clips. I've actually pulled one of our other E28s over here. I've pulled that next to the car so I can start getting to know where all the different clips sit on the car. Because this car's got a lot more clips than what the E30s have, and they've got a lot of more. They got a lot more clips and clamps, basically all over the show. So let's go to the motor. The motor, you guys seen that before. The throttles, basically from the last time you guys have seen it, we've actually stripped them apart again, and we've rebuilt them and we replated, and we just done another cleanup on this here, another way of cleaning up on this here, which gives us a nice aluminium finish to it, where when you guys saw it, it had a dull aluminium finish to it, and I wasn't too happy about that. We've got basically the harness connected. We can see all the piping. This guy's got a lot of piping, right? The oil piping, the hydraulic piping is actually totally different on this guy as to the E30s. We got all the piping done. We got the power steering reservoir done. We're still coming here over to the brackets on the side here, and we still got to come cleaning up. We got a firewall mat on this side and the other side short. There's one grommet short there. So why I'm pointing all of these things out here is because the car looks complete, but there's still a lot of stuff, and this is the minor things that are missing from the vehicle. Coming back to the front here quickly, I just want to show you where the pipes are coming in. Here's a transmission, another transmission. This is a power steering cooler over here, right? So it's just it looks like a pipe running across. It must still get bolted down to the grill, but this is where she sits. And if you look at the detail that we've tried to initiate over here, there's little pipes here. I'm busy with the clamps. We're redoing it. I wasn't too happy about it, but look at the clamps. So we've tried to color code certain things and just work with some sort of formality. Look, it's a restored vehicle. We know that, but work with some sort of formality and just follow that formality through with the electroplating, the color coding of the car, and so on like that. We're not trying to hide that the car is an original car. If you come over here to the wiper mechanisms, there you can see a sneak peek of the color combinations that we've played with in there, and you can follow the piping basically from here to your master cylinder. Yeah, from here to your master cylinder, and then we've still got to get some plugs in, and we've got to get a couple of fittings. Not fittings, it's more the clamps and the hold on clamps to it. These bonnet hinges, we've still got to get them lined up nicely, get them placed in. We're short of bonnet hinges, and I don't know how we can be short of E28 stuff. So if you look here, we've actually brought this E28 in quickly just to basically show us, just to give us a guideline. And this is an M20, it's not an M5, but it'll give us guidelines on the firewall, it'll give us guidelines on the ABS lines, and the hydraulic system is not the same as that, but it'll give us some sort of guidelines as to where what clips should be. Because again, I'm going to say to you, with the M5, you can't just pick up a phone and phone a friend and ask them to go and check. People are very, when it comes to M5s, you can't just do that. You're building an IS, you can pick up the phone. You're building a 333, there's a handful of guys that you can phone. But what I've learned is with the M5, tips you can put up. What I learned with the M5 is that you can't just do what you need to do and just get the information you want to get and finishing class. So, George, anything you want to say?
If you're driving a BMW, the E30s, the M5s, just bring it here and you'll be happy.
Thanks for the free marketing. But no, just in general, but you always appreciate it.
Yeah. And I really appreciate what Sanjay did for my vehicle. And I know it was just a tough journey because we struggled. Me and my wife were competing about the color, and we ended up agreeing on one color. We struggled on the interior color. It was just an up and down discussion, but finally it's done. Maybe in the 4 or 5 coming videos, yeah, we'll be showing my E30.
So we need to just basically get the car for a roof. Abdul at AutoZone Gazina, I'm gonna call you out on the video. Move your ass. We're just waiting for Abdul basically to get the roof done.
Yeah.
And then we can actually start fine-tuning the car. But I remember that fight with Mary with the color.
It was not easy.
Sure. I remember that fight, and we had to pull out cars. We had to pull cars out to show her. And we had to,
Different cars
yeah,
and colors.
the reds from the even we started with brilliant red also. You
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
Even we went to Anna at one stage.
And Hannah, she did not want to hear anything about him.
No, yeah, she doesn't like Anna, but she looked at brilliant.
Brilliant.
But we
red.
said no with brilliant because it's too common. Right, and his car was originally white, so we settled on the Calypso. And the interior we went on there, we moved away from the black and we went onto the light tan.
Yeah.
So that we're still gonna do a full feature on that car, and I'm still gonna enjoy it a little bit.
Okay.
But
Thank
then
you so much, Sanjay.
I thank you. But guys, see quickly. So let me end the video. I don't want to keep it too long as well. But this year was long. It was a long awaited video coming. I've always done shorts of it. I've done shorts of it on the lift and showed you guys the undercarriage and and we're getting there. So we're very close to the end. The triple threes we've got. I'm actually going tomorrow to go and fetch the chroming of the cars. They're standing there very sad at this point in time, but they're basically all waiting for chroming. Not all the cars that are done is waiting for chroming, and we can start assembling those, finishing those up. They're actually driving. We've tested them in the park. Don't worry, we haven't been on the road with them. We've tested them in the park here, and I'm excited. We're actually excited for them. The body shop, I'm actually going to do a video on it next week. There's a lot going on in the body shop. We've got a lot of assistants coming in now. We've picked up a lot of floors, but you know what? It's good. We picked up the floors, but it's floors that we want to pick up now, and we're able to sort out. So we have a car completed the way we want to have it completed. Anyway, guys, let's finish up this video. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know on what you guys think about this car. Drop a comment. Rais, I know you're going to be the first one to jump in and open this video up for us. But let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers, guys.